Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Julia. How are you today, Julia?
Hi, Jason. I'm doing great, thank you. And hello to all our listeners. I'm so excited about today's topic because it's something that every English learner struggles with at some point.
Absolutely. Today we're going to talk about something very important. Fluency is a habit, not a skill. Now, Julia, have you ever met someone who can understand English perfectly, but struggles to speak it?
Oh, yes, Jason. Actually, I used to be that person. I could watch movies, understand every word, even read books, but the moment I tried to speak, my mind would go blank.
Exactly. And I'm sure many of our listeners feel the same way. You know English, you know the words, but speaking fluently feels impossible.
Yes. And that's why today is so exciting because we're going to show you why fluency isn't about being good at English naturally. It's about the habits you build every single day.
By the end of this episode, you'll understand how small daily actions can transform your English and make speaking feel natural and easy. And don't worry, it doesn't require special talent, just the right approach.
Exactly. So if you've ever thought, I just can't speak English fluently, stay with us. Today, we're going to change that way of thinking forever.
All right, let's dive in. So, Julia, let's start by talking about a very common misunderstanding that many English learners have. People often think that fluency is a skill you either have or don't have.
Yes, and that's so wrong, Jason. I used to think that too. I would say some people are just born to speak English fluently, and I'm not one of them.
Exactly. And that thought can stop you before you even start practicing. Many learners feel frustrated because they believe fluency is something magical, like a talent you either have or don't.
And the truth is, it's not magic at all. Fluency isn't about being perfect, knowing every word, or speaking like a native from day one. That's what most people misunderstand.
Right. Fluency is actually a result of what you do every day. It's your daily habits, your practice, your willingness to speak, even if it's just a few minutes a day.
Exactly. Think about it like this. If you brush your teeth every day, you build a habit. You don't have to be born good at brushing teeth, right? Speaking English works the same way.
I love that example. So, for our listeners, the key takeaway here is fluency is not a skill you need to be born with. It's a habit you can build.
Yes. And in today's episode, we're going to show you exactly how to build that habit step by step, so speaking English becomes natural and automatic.
Perfect. Now that we've cleared this big misunderstanding, let's move on to the next part. Why fluency is actually a habit, not a skill. All right, Julia, now let's talk about the exciting part. Why fluency is actually a habit and not just a skill.
Yes, I love this part. A lot of learners think they need special talent or intelligence to speak English fluently, but in reality, fluency comes from what you do consistently every day.
Exactly. Let's break it down. Think about learning to ride a bike. The first time you try, it's hard. You might fall. But if you practice regularly, eventually it becomes automatic. You don't even have to think about it.
Yes, and speaking English works the same way. Every time you practice, even for just 5 or 10 minutes, you're training your brain and your mouth. Slowly, your English becomes automatic.
That's right. The key is small, consistent actions. For example, reading aloud for a few minutes each day, repeating simple sentences, or even thinking in English while doing daily activities. These small actions build your fluency habit.
And the more you repeat these actions, the easier speaking becomes. Your brain starts to recognize patterns, words, and phrases naturally. Eventually, speaking English doesn't feel like a skill you have to force. It becomes a habit.
Exactly. That's why we say fluency is not something you have. It's something you do every day. The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes.
And the best part is, anyone can do it. You don't need a perfect accent, a huge vocabulary, or years of classes. You just need the right habits.
Perfect. So, listeners, start thinking of your English practice as building a habit, just like brushing your teeth or exercising. If you do it daily, it will become natural, and that's when fluency comes.
Exactly. And next, we'll talk about the science behind habits and how it helps you become fluent, so you can understand why this works.
All right, Julia. Now that we know fluency is a habit, let's talk about why habits actually work. There's some interesting science behind this.
Yes, our brain is amazing, Jason. Every time we repeat an action, like speaking English, the brain creates a pathway called a neural pathway. The more you repeat it, the stronger the pathway becomes.
Exactly. Think of it like a trail in a forest. The first time you walk through, it's hard to find your way. But the more you walk, the clearer the path becomes. And eventually, it's easy to walk without thinking.
That's a perfect example. And in English learning, these trails are formed when we practice speaking, thinking, and listening regularly. Over time, speaking English becomes automatic, just like walking on that clear path.
Right? And the key is consistency. Even small daily practice, like 5 to 10 minutes of speaking or repeating phrases, strengthens your brain pathways and builds fluency faster than irregular, long practice sessions.
Exactly. So, learners, don't worry if you can't speak perfectly now. The more you practice regularly, the more your brain adapts, and speaking English will start to feel natural.
Perfect. Now that we understand the science, let's move on to something very practical. Daily actions and exercises you can do to build fluency. All right, Julia, now that we know fluency is a habit and how our brain forms habits, let's get practical. What can learners actually do every day to build fluency?
Yes! And the good news is, it doesn't have to take hours. Just small, consistent actions every day make a huge difference.
Exactly. For example, you can start by speaking for just 5 to 10 minutes every day. You can talk to yourself about your day, describe what you're doing, or repeat sentences from a podcast or video.
Yes. Another action is thinking in English. Instead of translating in your head from your language, try to think directly in English. For example, when making breakfast, say to yourself, I am cutting the bread. I am pouring the milk.
I love that. And another simple but powerful exercise is shadowing. That means listening to a short English audio and repeating it exactly at the same time, copying the pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation.
And don't forget reading aloud. Even reading one paragraph from a book or article every day helps your mouth and brain get used to English sounds and sentence patterns.
The key is consistency, not perfection. Doing something small every day is much more effective than doing a long session once a week.
Exactly. And the more you repeat these daily actions, the faster you will notice improvement. Speaking English will start to feel natural, and you'll be forming the habit of fluency without even realizing it.
Perfect. So, listeners, Pick one or two of these daily actions today and start immediately. Remember, fluency grows with daily practice.
Yes, and in the next part, we'll talk about common obstacles learners face and how to overcome them so you can keep your habit strong.
All right, Julia. Now let's talk about something very important. The obstacles learners face when building the fluency habit.
Yes, Jason. One of the biggest obstacles is fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry that they will say something wrong and feel embarrassed.
Exactly. I hear this all the time. I understand English, but I'm afraid to speak because I might make mistakes. And that fear stops you from practicing, which slows your progress.
But here's the truth. Mistakes are your best teachers. Every time you make a mistake, your brain learns what not to do next time. It's actually a sign that you're improving.
Another obstacle is hesitation. Sometimes learners know what to say in their mind, but they pause too long or overthink the sentence. This breaks the habit and makes speaking harder.
The solution is simple. Just start speaking. Don't wait for perfect grammar or perfect vocabulary. Start small, even if it's one sentence. The more you speak, the more confident you become, and the easier it gets.
Exactly. And the last obstacle is inconsistency. Practicing once in a while isn't enough. Fluency comes from daily, repeated action, even if it's just a few minutes.
Yes, so remember, listeners, mistakes are normal, hesitation is natural, and consistency is key. Overcoming these obstacles is part of building your fluency habit.
Perfect. And now that we know the obstacles, let's talk about a mindset shift that will help you stay consistent and motivated every day. All right, Julia. Now let's talk about a mindset shift that can make a huge difference for English learners. Consistency over perfection.
Yes, so many learners make the mistake of thinking they need to speak perfectly every time. They wait for the perfect moment to practice or get frustrated when they make a mistake.
Exactly. But the truth is, fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from doing something every day. Even a small action, repeated consistently, is more powerful than a long, perfect practice session once in a while.
For example, speaking English for 5 minutes every day is better than practicing for an hour once a week. Your brain remembers habits, not perfection.
Yes. And another tip, celebrate small wins. Each time you speak a full sentence, or remember a word without translating, that's progress. These small wins build your habit and confidence over time.
Exactly. So listeners, focus on building your daily habit of speaking, reading, and thinking in English. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about being perfect. Just show up every day and fluency will come naturally.
Perfect. And now that we've covered mindset, let's move on to motivation and encouragement, so you feel ready to start building your fluency habit today. All right, Julia, now it's time for a little motivation for all our listeners. Learning English can feel hard at first, but remember, every small step counts.
Absolutely, Jason. I know it can feel frustrating when progress seems slow, but the truth is, fluency doesn't happen overnight. It's like planting a tree. You water it a little every day, and eventually it grows strong.
Exactly. And here's the secret. Consistency beats talent. Even if you feel your English is not good enough, practicing a few minutes every day will get you further than trying to be perfect.
And don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own pace. Focus on your daily habits, and you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make in just a few weeks.
Yes! So, listeners, start today. Speak a few sentences, read a paragraph aloud, or think in English while doing your daily activities. Every small action strengthens your fluency habit.
Remember, fluency is a journey, not a destination. Keep going, keep practicing, and celebrate your small victories. They add up faster than you think.
Perfect. And now that we've motivated our listeners, let's finish with a summary and powerful call to action so they know exactly what to do next. All right, Julia, let's wrap up today's episode. What are the most important things our listeners should remember?
Well, Jason, first and foremost, fluency is a habit, not a skill. You don't need to be perfect or born fluent, you just need the right daily habits.
Exactly. And second, small, consistent actions are more powerful than long, irregular practice sessions. Even 5 minutes a day makes a big difference over time.
Third, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning process. They help your brain learn and grow.
And finally, focus on consistency over perfection. Show up every day, speak a little, read a little, think in English, and your fluency habit will grow naturally.
Yes. So, listeners, here's your challenge. Pick one small action today, read aloud, speak to yourself, or think in English for 5 to 10 minutes. Commit to it for the next 7 days and notice the difference.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with friends who also want to become fluent in English.
And comment below, what daily habit will you start today to build your English fluency? We'd love to hear from you.
Perfect. Thanks for listening, and remember, fluency is a habit. You can build it every single day.
See you in the next episode. Keep practicing and stay consistent.